I'm a reggae rootsman now, yes. I'm a article rootsman, yeah. I don't read no need.
What's up, New York? Yeah, Jerry Harris here in Brooklyn, New York, giving you some history about myself, and what my plans are for the new year, like the new album coming up called Reggae Rootsman. And as far as you know, I got more than 10 albums out and still in the reggae music, just doing what I gotta do and just giving you an update of what's happening here. As far as what you see, this is an appropriate place to be. Record shop, we're not online, it's just strictly record shop, so I'm just giving you an update of what's happening for the new year. Well, the new album coming up called Reggae Rootsman, with all the happenings here, and things that are going on in the world, I decided to go back to the message, and let people know what's going on in the lyrics, just let you know what life is about and why certain things happening, and just telling people to stay strong and just just live and just believe and just keep going and just kind of have faith and just don't lose the faith, So the new album coming up, Reggae Rootsman, it's all about reggae roots music, no lovers on it, it's just strictly message about reggae roots, man. I came from the foundation of reggae, doing roots music, making roots music with the message, and that's where I started, with strictly reggae music that have a certain amount of foundation on it, to send the message out with some real root style, you know what I mean? So it's about the roots, because that's the way I was raised, in the roots, even though I'm here in foreign country, but the roots never leave me, The album itself, Reggae Rootsman, is all live musicians. I just go back to the live music, and the live music is very important because you want to know who play on the record, who's involved, how it was produced. That's what it's all about, It's not like the computer did this and the machine did this, it's like real people on the record. Well, the album gonna be on digital online plus, hard copy, CD copy. So it's gonna release in Zojak. Zojak is a distribution company. It will be on iTunes, all the digital shops, online. The stores, we'll have it like Keelan, Moody's, all the record shop that's still alive, we want to keep it this way, original, so people could see who play on the record. Because, if I just put it online and don't have the hard copy, nobody gonna know who's on drums, who's on bass, who's on guitar, who's on piano. So we gotta spread the music to make people know about all the musicians that involved, and it's more excited to know that people playing, not the machine taking over your brain. Yeah, man, it's gonna be on the iTunes, everything, and it's gonna be happening online. All the stores, Amazon.com, and the music speak for itself. And people know me from the Wacky's days, Wacky's Records, And if you check online, Google me up, Jerry Harris, you'll see a lot about me. My favorite track on the album, talking about I'm a reggae roots man, and it's all about the way I was raised in Jamaica. Grew up out in the country, and grew up with the nature of life, so it's like I experienced the roots of life, so all this kind of material world don't really phase me, it's just convenience. Well, I respect Keelan, and that's the reason why I choose to come down to Keelan Records, because this man will tell you the history of reggae. He will give you the history. He's like watching a documentary while he talks. So Keelan Records, this man knows a lot of history about reggae music. So if people want to know something, call Keelan. He knows, and he known for the song called Combination. And when I was a kid growing up in Jamaica, You know, I used to hear that song. I didn't know exactly who sing that song until I meet the right man, Keelan, you know. Well, you know, we don't really deal with no kind of contamination, you know. We try to deal with more spiritual way of life and keep your body clean and keep your inside clean and don't deal with the junk. You know, you can't let the system get you down. You know, you don't make the system use you. You use the system. You know what I mean? You don't let it get to you. You focus on yourself. You know, don't lose your faith. Well, you know, like you gotta focus on, you know, like nature itself and the way you were raised, where you come from. Once if you lose that, then you lose yourself. If you don't remember where you come from, you don't know where you're going. So you're gonna lose yourself. It's like you're on a journey, and once you pick up the wrong thing, you just wind up somewhere else. You fall off the cliff. You know, so you have to be like focus on yourself, not really focus on like, boy, you know, you want this and you want to get rich and this quick thing and the quick fix and all that. You know, you have to think about where you come from, where you're going, what you want, you know, and don't contaminate yourself. Don't corrupt your mind. Jerry Harris was born in Port Antonio, you know, come from Portland, where the rain fall. You know, the rainforest. I call it the rainforest. I love it. You know, rivers and ocean. I come from, you know, Port Antonio itself. I went to Bonebrook School, you know, and I came here in America early days, you know, and basically what it is that the way I was grew up in Jamaica, I don't say I was a rich man, but I appreciate my life so much. That's what keep me grounded, because I still remember where I came from, you know, Portland, Port Antonio. I was in a band called the Tornadoes with Junior Mervin. Junior Mervin sing Police and Thief. It was a big hit, and he was one of my mentor. And we got people like Linford Richard, he used to play at Burning Spear, and all these people that I grew up with, you know, they're still around. We still play together, and we still meet up in Jamaica and do some recording and still go down there and get together with my people, you know what I mean? What it is, my father was a musician, so I guess I picked up that kind of, you know, thing in me just to know that he played guitar, so it kind of inspired me where I want to play too. His name is Duke Harris. He used to play on the North Coast, and he used to play a lot of Mento, Calypso, and you know. But what it is that he used to be the main director for the Playboy Mansion back in the Runaway Bay, and you know, he just did his thing. And then I came up, get inspired, and want to play the guitar too. So I like get together with the band, and then they could see that I could do it, and they just put me in. No, not in the church. Actually, I used to hang around the band, and I used to practice, and I want to say, you know, want to get into the band too, so I keep practicing. And then one day I went for an audition, and they listened to me, and they loved what I did, so they just said, you know what, you'll win the spot. so that's how it is, man, you know. I came to New York when I was 20 years old. Yeah. So I well bred in New York. I used to play out at my father's place in Long Island back then in the 80s and 90s. I did Japan. You know, I did Japan Splash, and Japan Splash was one of the main event in Japan that we actually responsible for reggae music in Japan. You know, people like Sugar Minott, and I used to tour a lot in Japan and just promote reggae music all over Japan until it got big and big and big and bigger, you know. So yeah, I did my part. I did my history part, you know what I mean? So it is what it is right now, that reggae music's still alive, and reggae music would never die. So I just keeping the music alive, you know. Well, you know, the experience that Japanese didn't know about reggae, so we kind of like give them a taste of it to see how they react, and it was kind of close to their music too. They have a kind of sound in music called enka that sound close to reggae. You know, they sing more in a minor key, so it's kind of pretty much close to reggae. So it's kind of like the language, Jamaican language and Japanese language, kind of have that kind of chop up thing, like, you know what I mean? So it kind of connect, you know, even though they don't understand what we're saying, but the beat and the melody is well connected. So that's how they start research and find out exactly what Jamaicans saying, and you know, it's been a joy for me to know that I'm a part of it, you know. Yeah, in 2014 we did a tour around Japan, you know, Tokyo, outside of Japan, and you know, that's Emmanuel Walsh. Yeah, so he was the drummer, and we had a great time together, you know. So it was really enjoyable. People still remember that I was a part of the Reggae Japan Splash and meeting some old friends, and it was fun. It was really fun, man. 2016, yeah. I'll be going to Japan, you know, to promote the album, and plus I did a couple of singles in Japan now, so called jazz reggae, and you know, different style of reggae music. So I like to mix it up. I just don't go one way. I love lovers rock, you know. In the UK, you know, I used to release my albums with Jetstar's and, you know, different places like Dub Vendor, and have my music circulate in the UK. I really appreciate the life that the Almighty gave me, and, you know, I'm humble, man, you know. I'm not here to pretend like I'm some kind of big star or anything like that. I just appreciate my life that the Almighty gave me, that I can live to still doing reggae music, you know. Yeah, I never feel let down when it comes to reggae music. It's like a fire that keeps burning, like you light a candle and it's still burning, you know. So I never felt like, oh, I didn't make it to a certain level. The level of my life right now where it is, that I still have life to do what I have to do. So I really kind of, you know, feel blessed to know that I have the life to do it, you know. When you live your life with too much expectation, then you wind up into more kind of stress, you know what I mean? Because the expectation that you have, and then you didn't make it, and you start doing the blame game, and you start, you know, start getting difficult because you didn't get what you want, then it's more like you weren't in it spiritually or truly, you know what I mean? You're just in it for the money, you know? But I'm in it for the people, you know, just to spread my music and heal the world and give people a sense of purpose and deal with some consciousness, you know, because if you don't have consciousness, you're gonna write some dirty lyrics. So you have to be conscious of what you're writing, because, you know, the younger generation coming up, they're looking up to you. So you have to be like very conscious about what you're writing in your lyrics. And it's all about that. Like I have a song called Remember Your Ancestors. What I want people to really realize is about, you know, think about your ancestors that sacrificed their life for you. You know, don't just think about yourself only, but think about the people who made the sacrifice. You know, so that's what it's all about. That's Reggae Roots, man. You know, that's the way I put the album together. I have another song about consequences. You know, I have another song called You Never Lose with Jah. You know, if you want to put it your way, never lose with God. You know, so you always win. So once you have faith, you always will win. But if you don't have no faith, you're going to lose, because you expect something else and then it don't work out, and you wind up into more of a complicated life, you know. Yeah, you see, what really happened to some artists is that you got to expect things in time change. So you got to move with the changes. You got to expect a difference, people creating all the time. So you have to know where to fit in, or just maintain what you got. You know what I mean? You don't have to change if they changing, because you got to be true to yourself, you know? Because as far as vinyl goes, vinyl records and CD, vinyl never dies, you know? So the same thing. So if you want to throw your vinyl records in the garbage, you're gonna find that vinyl is coming back. So what you gonna do? That me get my own new set of vinyl because you throw away your old record, and then people online want the record that was very old and we pay any money for it. So so that's why you never give up hope, and just throw away your dreams, because you never know. Things always come back around, They say what goes around comes around. That's how it is. Well, the first thing with these young people that getting into like reggae music or any kind of music, the first thing you have to know is learn the business side of the music business, because you'll wind up blaming like the producer, blaming somebody for your loss. But the point is that you have to understand the business side of it, that people have to spend money for production, studio costs, promotion. There's a lot to it. It's like a corporate business, where you have to know where your income gonna come from, how you gonna create an income from it. So you have to think about your cause and effect, how you gonna do it, how you gonna make your life out of it, if you decided to go that route. You know what I mean? So you gotta learn the business of the music. Not about just a fantasy, I wanna be on stage, I wanna hear my music on the radio, and I'm gonna be a star tomorrow. It's not all about that. Hard work pays off. That's what it is. Yeah, man, to be a Bob Marley, you have to be the chosen one. To be a Dennis Brown and James Brown, let's use a Brown. You have to be a chosen one, because you see, what really happened, these people is like maybe sent on the earth by, not maybe, they sent by God, to do this work. And, like how you'd have like other, disciples, So that's what it is, So sometimes when you see someone get very famous, it's because you were chosen, And then you might want to be like that person, but, you have to go through a whole lot of work to get there, And then sometimes you're not there yet, but you did a lot of work. So it's like it's all about being the chosen one, You got to be true to yourself. Then you will pick to be the chosen one. But if you're in it for some kind of fantasy or something like that, and you want to live some Hollywood life, and you want to like eat in a special place, and you want to be separate from the poor people, then you're not going to pick it up. Trust me. Practice and dedication. You never forget your instrument. Never keep it in the case. Keep it on a stand so you could see it. Keep it open. Keep it alive so that people can see, that you're in the music, so you can influence other people. You know what I mean? So someone might walk in and your guitar is on a stand. A kid might walk in and then it just influence him. Oh, I want to play guitar too, So you always have to be like, leave it open, ready to do whatever, So you can't like, just like, well, sometime I feel like playing, sometime I don't feel like playing. That means you're not ready. I want to show you my idol too, See, one of my idols, man. We meet up in Japan, and I learn a lot. I learned a lot from Dennis Brown as well, and this man, he's special, and to meet him, it was like, you learn that the men have a great heart.
He wasn't a flasking and all that.
No man, he's just ready to talk to anybody and just kind of pretty much ready to say anything that you ask him, tell you anything, So it's one of them. I have a picture with Dennis Brown and I backstage in Japan. Yeah, it was cool. And before he died, he told me that he wanted to write a song for him. So it didn't happen, he passed away. So, It's one of those things, you know. But a lot of people don't know that how long I spent in this business, because over 30-something years now. And, you know, I started from Jamaica and I came to New York and I still keep it going. You know what I mean? So the new album coming up, like I said, Reggae Roots, man. So just look out for it. You know, great message on the album. I'm not here to do my own. You know, just, you know, I believe into the recording. You know, I just believe into the work that I put in it. You know what I mean? They could contact me on Facebook, or they can contact me on my email, jerryharris12@gmail.com. You know, you could just, if you need any studio work, I'm ready. I'm a bass player, guitar player, I'm a producer, I'm a writer. You know, I'm all-around person. I can arrange, I can, you know, do everything, you know. So back then, most of the Wackies the records from Wackies, I played on them, and some of them I produced. So, you know, check it out. I want to say what's up to New York, you know, all my musician friends in New York that I played with over the years, and the ones that pass, and, you know, just great memories, and, you know, all the New York fans, all the people around the world, all the Japanese fans, they are my big fans. People in the UK, you know, all the radio personality, all the producers, all people who holding it down for reggae music. Keep strong and keep going, you know, and keep the roots alive. Don't let reggae lose, you know what I mean? Keep reggae strong, you know.